Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's finally here, the little 4-inch Workpro adjustable pliers. These are the little Cobra knockoffs that everybody's been getting excited about. I decided to pick these up because I wanted to see if it was even worth carrying a pair of pliers this small. I've had a chance to use it over the past couple of days, so I'm going to share my thoughts with you guys. Okay, so here they are. Let's go over the features real quick. These are 100 millimeter or 4 inches long. Unlike the Cobra XS, which is the smallest version of the Cobra, these actually have the push button adjust like all the larger versions of the Cobra pliers. And so we're going to see how they compare. I don't have the Cobra XS to be able to directly compare to these, but these are going to help me decide whether I even want to get those for, I guess, about 3 times the price of these Workpros. So over the past couple of days, I've had a chance to use these. I do like the feel of this. It does actually feel pretty premium to me. The machining is nice. The finish is pretty nice. Over time, this blue painted button is probably going to wear off. I'm going to keep these in my pocket most days when I need them. For such a small pair of pliers, let's see how far they open up. I'm going to slide it down here. It's kind of like the natural position, right around 1 inch. To compare that to like the 5-inch Pliers wrench, which is a different tool. They come in around 15/16. So these open up a little wider. I do have the 6-inch or 150 millimeter Cobras, and they open up to about 1.5 inches, just for comparison. And so these small 4-inch adjustable pliers, one feature I really like is that they have a lanyard hole on them that sets them apart from any of the Knipex offerings. I plan to put like a little lanyard on here with a clip so it can clip in my pocket and then they won't rattle around. One thing I notice is if you open these up a little bit and then you squeeze them down, it kind of wedges together, which some people might not like, but actually it prevents them from opening. And so they won't rattle around in your pocket. So there's been days I've just thrown these right in my pocket, and they're not very heavy. I'm not sure exactly what the weight is. You can look it up when they become available again. As far as the machining on the teeth, it's very similar to the Cobras from what I've seen. They perform pretty well. One reason that I wanted a really small pair of adjustable pliers is for my day job, I need to access water on commercial buildings, and a lot of times they don't have a handle on the spigot. If you've seen, they have like a square water key, and I wanted some thinner profile pliers that were strong enough to get in there and twist and turn, and it does pretty good. Some of them, that water key sticks out further, and you can get on it like this, the way that it's intended to be used, and you can open and close it if it's not too tight. One thing that I learned is these pliers, if you're going to be doing this sort of motion, just like the Cobras, you don't really need to squeeze them by hand. Actually, let me grab a bolt and I'll show you what I mean. These are intended because they're water pump pliers, and with the 2-piece jaw design here, make sure it's kind of adjusted right. With these type of pliers, all you really need to do, it's kind of hard to demonstrate on here. Let me hold it like this for now. Is all you really need to do is technically push on this upper arm. Maybe we'll try like this. Yeah, it's kind of hard to demonstrate on something that I'm holding. But the way that you get leverage is by pushing down on this arm, which squeezes the jaws tighter, just like the Knipex Cobras. Let's see how these 6-inch ones do with this test. And so that's something I kind of had to learn. Yeah, it's going to do the same thing. But in a practical use, this jaw design allows you to push down on this upper handle. It squeezes these jaws really tight. That's why they show these. You can stand on the larger versions, like the 10-inch ones, if you clamp down on a piece of metal pipe. And so it's a pretty good test for these. But I just wanted to show how you can use these. They are very small for my hands. I basically can get 2 or 3 fingers on these, and because they're metal, they are a little bit slippery, but the texture does help. And I really like the matte chrome because I intended to use these Sonoda water pump pliers kind of as pocket pliers, so I stripped the silicone handles off of them. But one thing I realized is with the shiny chrome on a textured finish and with the straight handles, these are some of the slipperiest pliers that I have. They'll slip right out of your hands. They don't have any contouring. One thing I really liked is that they have that flathead screwdriver. I think that's pretty handy. I think every pair of pliers should have that. But the matte chrome grips your hand better, whether they're wet, sweaty, I don't know about greasy. Might be a little different case, but when would I ever really be doing that? And so I don't really miss having the grips, the comfort grips or the soft grips on here. These actually remind me more of the Sonoda slip joint pliers because they have some pretty good cross hatching and texturing on here. And so these don't really give me the same problem as far as being really slippery. Maybe if your hands were really wet, they would be kind of slippery, but these are nice and comfortable to use. So these are pretty small, but these are the only pliers I've found so far that you can just throw in your pocket. The closest probably would be like the 5-inch Cobras and the 5-inch or 125 pliers wrench. These perform more like a full-size tool, and honestly, these do too, but they're not as nice to just throw in your pocket. Really, the ones that are the most comfortable for me to use are these 150 millimeter Cobras. Even when you have them fully extended out, it at least gives you 3 fingers on this lower arm, compared to if you ever had to work on a 1-inch fastener or a 1-inch piece of pipe, you're talking about maybe 2 fingers on the lower arm here. So keep that in mind. But for the price of $12.99, I think these are a pretty good option. They're just kind of a fun thing to play around with and to show it to people. And the fact that you can actually clip it on your pocket if you wanted to, or you can throw this in a bag, it's going to be really useful for a lot of guys. So that's my thoughts on this tool. I'm not telling you should get it. I've had some experience with it. It's pretty handy. I like how slim the jaws are. I don't think I'm ever going to buy the Cobra XS after playing around with these. I don't see myself using a pair of pliers that small on a regular basis. I would much rather have the 150 Cobras, which are still pretty compact, but they feel like a full-size tool. So just sharing my thoughts with you guys. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? Have you had any experience with the Cobra XS? Is it worth the more than $20 price difference to upgrade to the Cobra XS? Or do you just run full-size pliers all the time? You know, obviously these 250s are not going to fit in your pocket, maybe in a cargo pocket or something like that. But so anyway, just wanted to share my thoughts on this. Hope you guys like these type of comparison videos. I don't do a lot of like testing on camera, but just trying to show you these features on these tools. So hope you enjoy it. Have a great one.